I get it now. Now we're on our mark here, John. We've got day 2 of the ESL Challenger Melbourne closed qualifier underway. After today, we will be sending one of these teams through to Australia. We're going down under, John, and we're starting with Vendetta and EG Black. Let's go over the veto real quick, John. What's veto? What do we got? What are the maps? What are the maps? What are the maps?
I believe we've got Mirage, Overpass, and Inferno, unless I'm crazy.
You are correct.
Yes.
Woo, Mirage, Overpass, Inferno. You've won a prize. The prize is the start of the game. We're already in the pistol round, and George has already found a headshot. Quick plays towards top mid. George trying to rebuff some contact here, doing a good job of it. Vendetta for the time being, gonna have to reroute. A revenge game for Chop against his old team.
Yeah.
It's fun to see.
I mean, the fact that they even got this far is pretty impressive in my eyes, because Strife was a tough customer, but Vendetta had to go to overtime twice last night, double OT twice, in fact, just to come out with the W. Nuke, they won 22-20 against Strife, and Inferno 22-19, Mike. Oh, Junior.
That's a slick one from Junior. Gets away. Here's the footsteps coming in, but recommitting into the fight. That will cost him. At least one answer back. Might allow a chance for a bomb plant, but they have to kill Walco, and, well, realistically, Hex is already here. So it's all on to Cxzi. Already tagged down. Body shots might be enough to finish him off, but George put one through the head just in case.
Yeah, so EG get that 1-0 lead here. And the thing is, we saw them last night up against ATK, and there were still some issues, right? Especially on Inferno, where they lost 16-7. Overpass was more of a back and forth affair, but it felt like ATK were in control for the most part. Mirage was where they actually looked good, so it's a good thing for them that we're starting on this map. And then Inferno, as I mentioned, not so great. So hopefully for EG Black, they've managed to solve some of those issues, but I mean, we've seen it for a while now. The inconsistency is just their biggest problem.
Is indeed. Vendetta gonna be a team that can exploit those wobbles.
Yes.
Ooh, speaking of which, Silas, he's gonna exploit some wobbling over on the site. Now this could get spicy. 5 players alive in defense, even if you're a little bit thin on the weaponry, that's gonna be plenty, and this choke point proves devastating. Tender chewing through them with the MAC-10, and at this point, George, this is a really tough task. He'll clear out the first, but too many targets to find. And Russia isn't even in the same zip code, so this round's going the way of Vendetta, forced by success.
Wow. Yeah, Silas has been the bright spot for Vendetta throughout these qualifiers. He's sitting at the top of his team with 143 frags, 23.8 frags per map, a pretty high number because of how many overtimes they played, and 84 ADR. He's really been quite solid. It's a bit bittersweet though, Mike, because he just announced that this will be his last time playing with Vendetta, as he moves on to focus on other things for the time being.
Wow.
Taking a step away from competition, I believe.
I had not seen that, but
Yeah.
understandable. Life has many facets to it. Sometimes we need to shift focus on another, so we'll be seeing Silas maybe down the road. I feel like everyone comes back eventually, right?
Yeah, it feels like it for sure.
CS gets its hooks into you, and it's hard to just completely walk away.
I mean, it begs the question to me, though, who the replacement will be, and I think the obvious one is Pluto coming back to Vendetta, right? He had that 2-week stint with ATK where everything just didn't go right for him at all, and I kind of feel bad for him because of that situation, but now there's an opening on Vendetta. The natural fit would be, again, bring Pluto back. He's a great fragger.
Certainly is. Got 3 players bunched up in towards A. Not very much in terms of mid presence. As George shifts his location. They are going to come barreling in towards the A site, but this is just a bit of a fake. So as Chop loses his life, it's not catastrophic. Then will be here to continue to catch players as they look to retrieve a gun. And in the meantime, this bomb's gone down. This round has basically been won. Well, it hasn't gone down just yet, John, but it will go down. And Junior and George are just focused on trying to clear out Tender to maybe get his gun, maybe get something saved in the next round, because this one's a non-starter.
Yeah, Vendetta's got the real possibility of getting the upset here up against EG. Black, as George is going to venture a little bit in towards this site, could find a gun for himself if Tender's not careful. And not quite. Oh, now, maybe. Yeah, Junior does manage to take him down.
That's just how the 5.7 hits at range. They give it, and sometimes it taketh away.
Indeed.
All right, so George, armor, MAC-10 kit, it's something.
If he keeps it.
He keeps
He keeps it.
He keeps it. He keeps it.
Just barely. But yeah, as I was saying, Mike, last time EG Black faced off against Vendetta, Vendetta won. They lost on Nuke, which was map number 1. Won't even be seeing that here today. 11-16. Then on Inferno, they won 16-11. And Overpass won 16-12. And those are our first 2 maps. That was in the regular season of Challenger League. Not many teams were able to defeat this EG squad in Challenger League, but I mean, I think a lot of people were surprised that it was Vendetta. They've just got that upset potential.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a team that relies heavily on the firepower, right? You know, you've got a lot of the firepower. If a couple players are playing well in a day, things can get spicy. We got the full 4-man stack, 5-man stack rather, for EG. Counting is hard. I almost wish that you carry a kit and armor through a round. By a single smoke. Try and ninja defuse. Go for the big, bold play.
It's unlikely, but I understand your point, right? Because you haven't invested much into the round.
John, you're trying to analyze this from rationality, and I'm just saying it'd be cool.
I always have to go from that rational perspective, Mike.
That's why it works, John. Classic straight man crazy guy vibes. When are we hitting the borscht belt?
Oh, Mike.
I'll get a rake. You can step on it. I'll get a bottle of seltzer. We'll get some whipped cream filled pies. We got a whole routine going, John.
Maybe one day. As Consti's going to get a 2K here, but Rush gets 2 back. This is with the pistols. Silas is going to calm things down a little bit. AK bullets connect, but then Hex gets one back.
Did you get the gun?
Okay.
Get the gun?
I mean, look.
AK. Rifle, go for it. It's right in the hole.
They got it.
Two. They got
Mike,
2.
That's fantastic. They do so much economic damage to Vendetta, right? And then they also get 2 AKs out of the round in one that they didn't invest much into. Phenomenal. I mean, you lose the round, right? Bomb was already planted, it was exploding, but you get an upgrade for 2 players, and it makes this buy-up a lot more viable. Alrighty. Vendetta have this 3-1 lead on Inferno in the last 3 months. Vendetta have played here a lot. 21 times, 11 wins, 10 losses, and a -6 round differential. So it's been very back and forth, but they're a serviceable team. Like we said, very much have that upset potential, especially here on Mirage for Evil Genius over the last 3 months. They are 5-2 and +1 round differential. Again, it's been kind of up and down for them, but they are winning when they're losing, of course. That's the important part.
It is a helpful thing to do. Junior going to get first blood. Rush forced out by the Molotovs. Makes good on it. Now the guns are in hand. EG, a little bit of tougher customers. And Rush somehow still alive, despite the amount of utility they've tried to devote to getting him out of here. He's continuing to find tags. Dinks, that's so much damage done by Rush in a really tough situation. Now his teammates can come in to clean up. And, oh, Vendetta, they're still sticking to it. There's just no health remaining for these players. Consti, he's the next victim. Very nicely done from EG. Big plays from Rush. He only winds up with 1 kill, but the amount of damage he did, the amount of survival time he had just to focus Vendetta up on his spot, that was huge.
Yeah, Rush has been really good throughout these close qualifiers. In 5 maps, he's got 96 frags, in fact, and a 1.25 KDR. He's actually only behind, well, who else? Junior, who's got 98, so 2 more frags than him, and a 1.38 KDR and a +27 kill to death differential. So Junior's being Junior, but Rush has really stepped up his game here. Lots of aggression towards mid for EG, which we saw against ATK yesterday, and they did pay the price a few times. But overall, I mean, had the success and ended up taking that map off ATK. It's the only map they have won against ATK over the last 3 months. Twice, in fact. I shouldn't say over the last 3 months, Mike. Over the last 2 BO3s.
I mean,
good correction.
Those were within the last 3 months.
Yes, they were.
Seems fine. Seems valid. Definitely not misleading statement. We do a little misinformation on the qualifier. We got a clear in towards Con. Walco potentially holding this, but he's going to give up the angle. He's going to give up the space. And Cxzi getting a kill might soften up this B defense if they can suck Walco forward into this mid fight. Well, they can, but at the cost of Silas's life. So this is looking like a heavy B lean, and indeed it is. Oh, Tender can't finish his food. Hex, his vision clears in time, and now this crossfire, it's a nightmare to deal with. The bomb's dropped, it's committed. The op's now on the angle. Well, the flashbangs are good enough to clear out Hex. He didn't reposition after his spot was revealed. This is actually a viable 2v2. They don't know Junior's out, I don't think. Oh, Consti reads it though. Up close, Junior trying to hit the no-scope. That's not going to happen. So what do you got for Rush? Oh, you got the timer. It's run out. Junior did enough. Okay, round win.
That's ridiculous. Vendetta just losing track of the clock there. No questions asked. Junior did a really good job at least delaying them, but they should have had that bomb planted at one point or another. So we're all tied up at 3-3, and Mike, I just checked. I was right. I was just a little hesitant about claiming it, but yes, it is the only map that EG have won against ATK this year. In the last 3 months.
We do a little correct information.
Yeah. But they're not playing against ATK right now. They're playing against Vendetta, and they've got 2 rounds in a row. Junior looking for that opener here, and he's going to get smoked off, so he'll probably fall off this angle. I like the boost here for Consti. Unfortunately for Vendetta, it's not going to yield anything. So they fall off and say, okay, well, we'll take mid control, no problem. Re-smoking window. Tender up close. Buy-up's not the greatest, obviously, because Silas, Chop, and Tender are just going to be ecoing. Well, Cxzi and Consti carried these guns over from that previous round. Cxzi will go down. Hex sprays him down through that smoke, although he did see him right before it bloomed.
Got a little tip-off. Little tipperoni. Bomb's not with these 3 players massed it towards mid, so somebody's going to have to rotate back just to retrieve it. Got a lot of forward positioning towards Con. I suppose they're going to leave the responsibility with Chop, but yeah, he's got to be a little nervous. The wraparound could have come. They don't know. I mean, there is a ramp push here. It's not as deep of a ramp push as they might think, but there is a ramp push. They're going to rotate the bomb solo through spawn. Oh, John. This could be really bad. Rush could shut down this whole round before it even starts. There's only 30 seconds as well. It's not like there's a lot of time here. Oh, but Chop, Johnny in the spot. Rush trying to clear out some angles, not realizing where to got into, but they don't expect a double ramp play. But George, by George, now he just needs to live. He just needs to live. He knows they're coming from both directions and pinched between. He will falter. 15 seconds. The time could be an issue again, but Hex needs to get on the angle. They showed them some reason to stall out, and he's unable to do so. He knows they're posted. He's gonna get 2.
Oh, wow.
Round is on. Couldn't deny the bomb. If he'd found that planter, I think it's over. We still got a prime opportunity here for them to get back through the choke points, for them to get into this retake. They could use Walco activating a little bit quicker here, even if he just finds the AWP, just to confirm that no, he's going to come through CT with them. This is way too late. Time's going to be a huge issue here. Tender sprayed down too. I mean, just purely on the clock, Tender could win this. The reposition's coming in. I don't know if there's
there might be time. There might be time.
I think just barely he's got it. He's got it.
More than barely. That's actually pretty comfortable. I thought it was closer. But yeah, EG going to get a 4th round there. Wow, Vendetta just barely missing out on hanging on there. I mean, without Hex, though, on the EG side, that round is a non-starter. He comes out, gets a nice little 2K spray down. Yes, a little bit labored, but given the distance he was fighting at and the situation, pretty impressive stuff. So Evil Geniuses do take the lead here. Vendetta, they got a buy-up again. A couple of AKs, 2 Galils, and an op. Let's not forget, they did that with 3 pistols and 2 rifles saved over from the previous round, just getting into that bomb site and finding the plant. Cxzi rattling off a few rounds from that Galil and gets named down to 74. George and Tender fighting, and Tender wins that one 5v4 just like that. Tender takes a lot of damage, so they might try chasing him out, but it would be ill-advised because Consti's waiting there, guarding with the AWP.
Everybody's here. Everybody's here. Junior posted up. Get his chance. That shot doesn't land. Junior down to 1 HP. Not sure how. He's the one who comes up on the worst of that particular exchange. And trying to catch Cxzi. The flashbangs here. The kills, though, traded. This is not going well for EG. They need something else to break their way. Walco's going to try and achieve it, but in the meantime, it's 2 players in towards B. And time could be the biggest ally for EG right now. They've got 2 players on the right side. A late rotation underpass would still have to go through this con setup. 45 seconds starting to hit. But Junior's no longer looking the right way. And Hex is being drawn towards Catwalk. Playing this get right position. Gonna need to be huge.
Oh, Walco.
Walco, the timing. They didn't realize. They just left con open. They left con open. The bomb is down. 28 seconds. And another clutch required. Tender, 1v2. 2 kills already to his name. He'll cross the angle, but the op can't land. And he knows he's going to be able to get these numbers punched in now. So this resets the score, Tender. Resets the adjustment, the arithmetic here. But he goes wide again. Junior misses, but Walco's there to see it through.
Oh, man. Not only did Junior miss, but Tender did as well. Just 1 bullet needed to connect. He gets Junior, and then he can isolate that fight a little bit better. Instead, he panic swings trying to find a fight and goes down for the count. EG, another defusal, another round victory. They extend their lead to 2 here. Vendetta, I mean, they're putting up such a good fight. They continue to get those plants and find space on the bomb sites. They just cannot convert. Even in the round that started this streak off for the Evil Geniuses, they had site control. They just couldn't get the bomb even planted because time ran out on them. Oh boy, Vendetta. Pieces are there, things are working, but there are just these minor issues preventing them from closing out these rounds. George, playing at the top of A ramp. Thinking about going down there, but there are a couple players waiting on the other end. He's got the support of Rush and also Junior. They're going to try and filter out from Palace, but Junior and George get a couple. Consti responds with 2, but Rush is right there to calm things down again. A 2K for him. Tender, last one standing, and he will at least make it interesting again here, Mike.
Tender. You're on the peak, so good on the first, the second as well. Precision in the face, clinical on the shots. Tender, wasting no effort there.
Wow.
That's efficiency, man. That's economy of movement.
Yeah. He's been solid for them.
He has. A couple big plays, some nice clutches, good post play.
Yeah. Big
piece of why they're so competitive right now, and EG gonna go for the force buy off of that. Their money in shambles. 3 SMGs out, including an of all things. Nice nade. Softens the players up. Ooh, couple of them very vulnerable to these SMGs. Chop gonna be the first to fall. Hex losing himself among the smoke. They may not expect to play a pillar now. Hex down for the count. Finds 1. 2 on 3 in the retake. Gonna be a lot tougher to ask of them.
Yeah.
Aid for damage. It does good. My goodness, and flying with the flash. Love the idea for George. Not quite able to land the headshots, but man, did he give himself a real chance at it.
Yeah. Now Rush, the last one standing here in a 1v3. Doesn't have the time, Mike. No kit. And he has 3 players take down, so he's just going to wait here and hope for some exits, but that means that Vendetta are going to tie up the scoreline again, 5-5. No lead is safe on Mirage right now. Well, Rush could do a lot of damage here. Oh, there's a freebie. 2 for 1, in fact. Tender and Silas go down. I think that might have been
no survivors.
Close to it. Then Consti goes down to the bomb. All right, Rush gets the upgrade to the op as well. That's pretty good.
About a late swing in fortunes.
Yeah.
2 kills coming in, $1,200 made, a third gun taken away from Vendetta as well, and you get the op for Junior in this round. That's quite the coup.
That's the best way to lose a round.
Yeah, possible.
If you're going to have to lose it, right?
Got to imagine that would be.
Oh, man.
They go in.
And I mean,
they go in after it. All right, this is interesting. The op was enough to coax them through. They know the economy's brittle on the other side. This opportunity is just too great to pass up.
You have to. I mean, knowing that you took down all of them and that their economy still hasn't had a chance to settle in, why not? 2 A1Ss, an op, and an MP9? Yeah.
It's interesting that they're going to use the op. Usually in this situation, you want to free the op up as much as possible to find the pick. But what they're doing is they're using the op to completely zone out apartments to allow the rest of the guns to focus on in towards... Hex, did you just see this? I
think he saw the head.
Sure, it was milliseconds. It's not confirmed that he would have. Might have just missed it. Sometimes there's a lag between... No. X-ray, I think, is deceiving here. This is agonizing. Is he going to spot a pixel? When's he going to see somebody? The bricks boost could be exposed. Silas looking for it. Now they got to give it up. Util drops. It's going to be the chase on. Not actually significant in terms of damage.
Looks like it would be, but yeah.
Bit of a blue nade there, but look at this positioning for Cxzi. He's all the way through jungle. Holding in such a way that this may not matter. And now as he comes out, that flashbang tipped them off that somebody might be here. Gun barrel spotted. Kill in. Rush. Able to withdraw. And they have no idea that George is in this spot. They should clear it. Oh my god, they're not going to clear it. That's the bomb dropped. He knows one's in sandwich as well. That sets up Rush for the swing. That's a huge disaster. They were so focused on Rush towards Ticket that the thought of someone being stacked on top of Tetris just leaves their mind.
And George gets the AWP off the ground as well. This is just not good. It has to be. 10 seconds left, no bomb control. Whew. Oh, Hex, hello.
Very lucky that Hex wasn't looking his way there.
Yeah.
Knife kill? No, okay.
I mean, let's not tempt fate. Just get the frag, right?
A little bit too much to ask there.
Yeah.
Still, look at the money, right? Especially with the 2 players saving in the round. This is what EG were hoping with that force buy. This is the result of Rush's damage in the prior round, is that now the money for Vendetta is all kinds of screwy. They're going to invest around these 2 saved guns, but this is going to be a very meager buy. And if they can't pull up here, EG are going to have a chance to build a really solid defensive half.
Absolutely. Vendetta looking to try something like you mentioned with this force buy. 2 Tech 9s, the Deagle, the AK, and the A1S. They're going to already move their way up towards those B apartments. Oh, Hex spamming through the panel. Connects onto Tender. Takes him down to 8 HP. Is the nade going to finish him? Oh, Tender's lucky to be alive here. He charges up a Molotov as well. I mean, just every piece of utility hitting him. Walco gets one, Junior a second, and now Vendetta have to back off. They cannot continue funneling out here or else the round will just simply be over.
You know it too. The problem is they don't have a second look, right? They don't have any other piece of control or information, so they're still being coaxed in towards B. Another smoke up. More time going to whittle off the clock. Maybe this spreads the defense for EG a little bit. Even sending some bullets down range, just reminding Vendetta that they do, in fact, have all of this under control.
Gotta do something, Vendetta. Time ticking away. 35 seconds left now, and well, we're gonna try going back to B. Junior misses the shot. That opens up a possibility of something, but no, nothing. Hex gets 2. He cleans up what Junior misses, and Junior gets consti in the window.
That's what you call a redundancy. Making sure that if the first shot misses, well, Hex is there to collect. No problem. No blemishes on the round. That's how you engineer safe systems, man.
It's the best way. Gotta have a backup plan. 7-2-5, and Vendetta finally are going to be on an eco round here because everyone got that loss bonus. Although they do upgrade their pistols. Oh, Junior connects on another one. He's got 8 now. George supporting him. They want this mid control, and they have it. Vendetta forced to reroute back towards the A site. Only one piece of util, Mike. That flashbang, that makes things a lot more difficult.
Better be the God Flash. Better be the flash of the century, this one. Who's got a tender?
Need to be.
See what you got. See if you got a career as a pitcher. Ooh, don't got a career as a... I don't know where I was going with that one. Everyone's dead. Doesn't matter what flash he throws. They got caught by the Molotov. Timing was perfect on the util rush. Basically ends the round with one piece of beauty. And Tender will never get a chance to fight. Naded to oblivion. Walco's throwing fastballs down home plate.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's catching pretty well. So there's the career in baseball
Hey!
on that side.
I'm telling you, man,
Oh, my
Borscht
goodness.
we got a career here. We're only like 80, 90 years too late.
Yeah, a little bit too late, a century too late. But maybe we can do it as like a throwback or something?
Yeah.
Is it a skit?
We'll tour, now instead of being like comedy clubs, to find the right audience, you would need to go for like nursing homes. We can get it. We can make this happen. Rush can make this happen. He catches a player with nades in hand. Oh, Rush.
my.
Just killing them all. Says, all right, enough of these long, slow, drawn-out rounds. I'm going to just win it right off the jump. 30 seconds in, single-handed. Just dealing out damage. Call him Rush, the executioner, because he is in a hurry to end these rounds. Silas, the man the honor of rushing forth into the breach, seeing if you could be the next one to take down a major winner. It's like a carnival game where the prize on the other end is a lost round.
There's really so little he can do here. Rush has aggressive posturing. Even if Rush goes down, I think Silas might be considering.
I think he's using his teammate's body as a lineup.
Oh, is he?
I don't know what he was doing there, but he was really intent on the ragdoll.
He might have been considering saving the op. Well, he's not going to save anything. He is dropped to dirt. Junior with the op frag. He's up to 11, but Rush really has been the story in this first half for EG. 15-6, and not only in the first half. As I mentioned, throughout this close qualifier, Rush is playing pretty much out of his mind, which is excellent for EG. He wants that ticket to Australia, to Melbourne.
Melbourne. Just a really big fan of Aussie culture. Look, I want that ticket too. I want to meet Mac Mate.
I mean, me too. Yeah, I've never been, and I'd love to go there.
In my dream to meet Mac Mate and see if the mustache is as glorious in person. Rush, trying to find out, trying to get one of those warm Aussie hugs, the embrace of glory. Qualification, perhaps just a moment away. Certainly the half is. It's not looking good for Vendetta. The bomb still hasn't crossed. It'll have to go through the sightlines. They're running out of utility to do anything about this. And Rush still going to be flawless. 3 caught in the final round, and we'll take a break.
Hey Future Pros! Locking down mid as a CT can put you in a good spot in a round of Ancient. So let's check out the smoke incendiary combo that the Chad Sponge Birchall likes to throw. Get into the middle of the doorway just before the stairs. Aim to the vines at the extended leafy bit and throw your smoke. Then quickly position your crosshair at the tip of this leaf and walk forward and throw the incendiary instantly. These nades will surely make the T's mad and make them hopefully respect the util. If you want to change it up, you can also throw your incendiary at the same smoke lineup for a deep coverage of the elbow area. Good luck holding mid and make sure to throw your nades fast.
walk through fire, blow up the storm and see the light, yeah. I told my friends that I could run on water, and they said nobody can. They'll see me flying through the sky, yeah. Play hide and seek behind the clouds. I show my friends that I'm not scared of dreaming, and I'll do that again, over and over again. Suddenly, the heart and chest feels heavy. The calm is just a memory. It's failing me, and I know I could never surrender. My beating heart, it won't give up. As long as I am here, I'll never stop.
And we're hot here, John, on the mic and in the server. It's Rush who's been looking hot as blazes after that first half. 18-6. Ooh-wee! That's a scoreline and a half.
Yeah. He's the reason why EG have hit double digits in that first half of action. Now they go on over to their T side, and they've got the right read. They're going to the A site. Only one player here. That is Tender. Gonna have to get some juicy frags here, Mike.
Perhaps. Did you say he's tending to the site? Oh,
Yeah.
sets up consti. Might not get the frag himself, but there he goes. Chiming on in still to deal with the setup. It was a risky move pushing the bomb on forward, but at least the plant should be looking good. A wrap out ramp. That's a critical frag to get. Could have shut the bomb down.
Damage.
Cxzi almost sealed the deal on this round, but as it is, he may set up his teammates just to go for the body shots here. We do have only 2 players alive. HUD having
Yeah,
some
that's
fun.
a glitch.
But we're all good here. A swing, a force, a fight, a Silas with 2 kills and the victory, as we appear to have had a player drop out of the server. Cxzi
lost
is
Cxzi.
gonzo. Hopefully he didn't get the Jules virus.
Oh no, he's
Oh,
good.
he's back. All good.
He's back. We're fine. That's a heck of a retake from Vendetta. I mean, even in the initial fights, Tender sets up consti for one, then he gets one of his own and really makes it difficult for the evil geniuses to hold on to that site after the plant goes down because the numbers just weren't there. And a very clean 2v2 as well, secured by Vendetta. So they get that pistol round. Evil geniuses, they got the plant though, so they say, you know what? Let's get a buy up here. An AK, 3 MAC-10s, and the scout on their side. Cxzi, peering back and forth towards top mid. He's got support from 2 other players. Vendetta want to go extremely aggressive into this round. Again, though, the fight's coming towards the A site. Tender did a good job in the previous round. He's going to be tested once more.
So util in. Here comes the waterfall. Tender, do you have an umbrella? Hasn't seen anything just yet. He's not calling for his teammates to rotate, but here it comes in and deleted. Rush was just the point man. He was just there to distract and set up Hex for the shot, and it works out beautifully. Now, contending forward, going to be a tough ask of Rush. He's low on HP, so he knows he needs to play this a little bit cheekily. But the bomb's down and 5 alive. Alert developing in the form of Walco. It's always going to be a great position to play from. They've got the crossfires as well. There's no utility left on Vendetta. They prioritize the guns over the util, and they may be paying the price for it. They're already bailing out. They don't want this. They don't want this heat. They're going to save. Wow.
Wow, that's really disappointing for them after finding the opener. And then Cxzi walks into Walco's MAC-10. That's a free upgrade for Walco, who's not going to take it just yet. He wants that close range advantage with the MAC-10. And George finds Silas, so another upgrade. Rifles across the board here. Junior picks up the FAMAS instead of the Scout, and he will go down anyway because Consti's waiting in CT spawn. But still, that's 3 rifles brought out of this round for EG, and they only had 1.
Massive coup. I mean, it was a great opener from Hex, and that's just the trouble with the setup, right? If you're going to play a retake setup on A, you need nades. You can't have everybody buying rifles. There's just no way back into it. There's no easy way through, and well, this time Vendetta, they're going to force buy in. They've actually got more util this time around. Not to be spread about, but the weaponry looking a little meager. And that lesson may come too late as you give momentum up to EG early on here. They just don't need too many rounds to close this thing.
Chop. Molly lands in front of him. George looking for something. Consti's already found one, and Silas gets a second. What is happening here? EG going a little bit to Lone Ranger. A couple of weird peaks there, but Junior is managing to pull it back a little bit. He finds one, looking for the second that would even out the numbers. In the meantime, though, the rest of the team saying, okay, there's a lot of presence on this A site. I think that we should rotate off, and that would be the correct decision with only Tender and a 5-7 waiting on the B site if EG go fast enough and Vendetta don't realize what's happening here. Good angle for Tender, though.
Does Tender's 5.7 have a butt on the end of the gun?
It's possible.
What's going on here?
I think it's just...
Well,
certain patterns of that gun have interesting results, let's say.
Interesting. Well, you better hope he's good with the gun, because otherwise he's going to be making some cheeky plays.
Oh my god.
Tender. I'd have a chance to collapse some of the opposition. And he's going to get it. He's going to land that shot. Drops the bomb as well, so Hex has to force the issue. And Tender!
No way.
Always looking mighty thick with that 5-7. They're giving up this round. EG, what an absolute disaster. 1-5-7 stood between them and salvation, but just a little too double-cheeked up on site. No way in.
Feels like disasters back and forth here, Mike, to be quite honest. I mean, Vendetta having doing a really good job here, but a couple of rounds ago, they only bought up the A1Ss and had no utility to play with, so they had to go for a save with 4 men still left standing up against an EG 4-spy. But that 4-spy, well, didn't really do that well, so...
I need another one.
Yeah. I mean, the 4-spy didn't do well in the following round with the guns that they had picked up.
You know, when it wasn't a 4-spy anymore.
Exactly.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, John.
I'm glad you picked it up.
Takes a very high IQ to appreciate our commentary. Rush. Gonna try and get ahead of the util. He has done so. Teammates behind him. He's got the forward spot. Need to find him. Oh, second dunker. That's going to confirm some presence here, but they're still out of the choke points. They're out of the window. Pressure on Tender. What do you got? You got one. Silas another. It's looking good. Reinforcements are here. Yep. And this is a complete shutdown of the B take. Not a bullet of killing damage taken back the other way. That's a nice find for Vendetta.
That's absolutely fantastic, right? They really settled their economy down. All 5 players survive. EG just tried to overload the B site, and sure, it went pretty well. They actually got their feet planted on the site itself, but they couldn't get the bomb planted, which was the problem. Vendetta just had too many bodies up, and the rifles were just unloading way too many rounds for EG to deal with that limited buy-up. So it's going to be Glocks across the board here for EG. No investment at all. Nada. But EG, regardless of the buy, will always play patiently.
Sometimes. Last round, you remember, was Rush flying out apps. Not so patient at all. But for the most part, they do like to take their time with it.
Yes.
Run boost. Run boost. Run dead. Run 1 kill. Well, it was a little bit of acrobatics. It's a nice idea if you maybe offset the 1 player if they're pushing top mid solo, but it's en masse for Vendetta, so the 1 casualty be far from a problem, and they will happily close this gap to just 2 rounds.
Yeah, Vendetta's been playing pretty aggressively towards mid, usually 2-3 men set up in the early rounds, so yeah, EG were walking into something bad, regardless of even if Vendetta had 3 players, there are only Glocks available to them with no body armor and no util. Only so much you can do, and Vendetta are running it back here. 11-9 in favor of EG. Well, Walco's going to get 1 here, traded out immediately by Chop, though, and Chop's going to fall back. He doesn't want to get picked off himself. Nade flies through. George takes a little bit of chip damage, but I mean, not too worse for the wear, and it's enough to at least force him off and to wait a little bit longer here, Mike.
Gonna group up for this B play again, which means they'll test the op of Consti. But in their favor is the fact that no one's really close at hand for the rotate. So if he gets caught by a flash, if he gets pushed off by an util, even if he just finds that first kill and gets traded, this is not a bad situation. Util's coming through, but Consti gets a chance at the shot. It's a winger, not a killer. Now he needs rotations. Now he needs support because he's not getting away, and neither is Chop. Bomb down. This is going to be a save, I think, John. Don't think they fancy this. It's going to be a really tough retake. They're so out of position.
No, you can't even justify this. 2v4, you're all the way over at connector and you have to get to the B site, find 4 frags and defuse the bomb? No.
Too much to ask. So EG finding a critical round right when they need to. One thing that's very interesting, right? From the first half, we had Rush on an absolute tear. I don't think he's gotten a kill since the switch, but the reason for that, for the most part, is that he is first man in. I mean, even in this one, he takes the op bullet as a winger, and everybody else presses through. So he's creating space for the team, and provided they can capitalize on it, it doesn't really matter whether Rush is fragging. Classic entry fragger role.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rush hasn't necessarily been going for the openers very often, but he's always been good at it, right? So, for sure. Walco's actually been the one who has 19 frags over this close qualifier, and he's won helped win 23.9% of the rounds that his team has picked up throughout it all. Rush pushing out here, Consti. Go down to 15, and Hex finds Tender over the top of that smoke. Is he going to get the second? No. Chop finds the trade here, 4v4. And EG really want to put a stranglehold in this match, but Cxzi's not allowing it. Consti gets one as well, Mike.
That's a great find. That's a great find. That was just an attempted individual play, and now Cxzi's able to reposition for the next. So this was looking good for a moment for EG, even after the first trade goes back, right? Still very recoverable in a 4-on-4, but very isolated fights from then on out, and EG not able to win any of them. Walco, he's gonna get one, but this will just activate the catwalk player, and down for the count he goes. His old comrade of Chop putting him down into the dirt. 2 rounds, again the deficit. Do we get a force buy in here? It wouldn't be bad for EG. 3 players are fine to buy. 2 could go for the Galils and Mac 10s.
They're going to talk about it. They want to see where they're at. Loss bonus to 2,400? Okay. Might want to be careful with your buy up. I would say a half buy is probably a better choice, although you do have George at 5k.
Yeah,
and you can get a pretty good util set around Rush and Walco. 3 AKs, 2 Mac 10s, or 2 Galils even.
Oh,
it's serviceable.
Pretty tempting.
It would hamstring the follow-up round for them, though.
Unless you win.
Unless you win.
If you buy here, you're not planning to lose. Just simply win. Economic advice from me. Seems like they'll go for the half buy. They're going to play it conservative. They're going to play it safe. George, what's he going to get out? Only a tech. Considering he could have bought in a little bit more and still had money for the next round. This is very safe indeed. And let's see what they can get done with the pistols.
We saw them do the same thing yesterday. Very safe calls in situations, even more money than this. And we're saying, whoa, why aren't they buying? But yeah, EG likes to make sure they get those full utility belts across the board. So, and well, they also have confidence in themselves, right? With the pistols.
Something like that. Confidence in themselves or fear of failure, John. You just know you're going to win. I ain't all the way.
That's also overconfidence can get you there too.
It's only overconfidence if you can't back it up. Ooh, cross the ankle, dink on. Very, very little dink though. Must have carried through the box. So it does barely any damage. Cxzi under threat, Cxzi under pressure, but he's got support. Silas's head knocked off his shoulders. This one's getting a little spicy. Red bars on 3 remaining players, or rather 2 of them. But what can Hex do here in mid? Does Tender know he's far up? Certainly is aware of the possibility. Hello, let some time go in, a little bit of air, but Rush has shown presence, and that means they're probably going to want to go. Crossing the bomb is the really big test. Chop can hold this. Consti on the scene as well. And yeah, the jungle player, that's what they were waiting for. That was sort of the last potential secret they had on the round, and doesn't work out. So protracted fights here. A little bit of sleepy time. 10 seconds. Junior looking for more damage. Look, decent damage. No bomb plant, not ideal, but considering they went with the very conservative call, 3 kills ain't bad.
No, it's really good, in fact. I mean, you limit the economy a little bit for Vendetta, although they are doing quite well for themselves. It forces a little bit more cash to be invested here. They'll have an op, 3 A1Ss and the AK. Over on EG side, though, yeah, as you mentioned, as we were talking about, it was a very light buy. And now they were waiting for this moment. Full AKs and full util as well. Round number 24. Still very tightly contested. Vendetta only down by 1. They're trying to retake this lead. Cxzi peeking out from underpass, and Hex waiting for it, and the second as well. No trade, and Hex deals a very big blow in the opening 20 seconds of the round.
Just give him the fights and he will profit. What Hex likes, it's how he likes it. And just enough spacing as well to reset your aim. I mean, that's just serving him up on a silver platter. So, now, a little bit unfortunate start for Vendetta. Do they have a hero to rally, to regain? Could be Consti with that AWP. Positioning now towards Ticket. He could be the one taking contact as well, though currently this looks like it's going to be a cat play. So 2 players to dig out, both towards the van and plat right now. Here comes the util. Here comes the pressure. Chop.
So
How is he not burning? Now he's burning. Now he's burning. Had to get out of there. So alive for the moment. Do they clear him? They do, but not successfully. Information gained. This is starting to fall apart. How is this swung? They can't find any damage. And nade out. What are you doing there? Walco's so late to this. So late. So far behind his teammates.
He's got time.
It might work. It might pull off the 1v2. He's found the gap between them. This is getting really awkward, but they're aware. Consti's aware of this, and this is the problem of activating so late on. It works great if the first contact goes through, but if it doesn't succeed, if you don't get on towards the site, what's the point of having the lurk? What's the point of having the cleanup crew if the front hit doesn't succeed?
This is our criticism all the time of EG, right? They wait a little bit too long, don't give themselves enough space, and I mean, so much damage done towards van and apartments, and then they don't check there. They don't clear it after throwing that utility, figuring, oh, well, I guess no one was there if we threw the Molotov. But no, there was tons of space to hide behind van, and both players for Vendetta were in a tough spot. That smoke probably saved their lives because it isolated their position a little bit and allowed them to just rain fire upon EG. Now EG, they're on the pistols. Looking to get something, and they will find absolutely nada. Walco's flash blinding his own teammate. Cxzi benefiting from it, finding 2, then the 3rd, and it's only 1 man left. Hexed. All by his lonesome. Only body armor and a P250 available, and well, that's not enough. Tender deals with him. 13-12. Vendetta have indeed retaken the lead.
That they have. That setup was predicated on killing Cxzi, right? You throw all the util to lock off connector, to lock off jungle. If you kill the ticket player, boom, you got a bomb plant. You got a great potential to actually compete in the round. But Cxzi kills everybody. It doesn't matter. That is the position you have to deal with. You don't have the proper utility to dig him out. So that's the limitation factor. Gonna get the buy in here, but for EG, it has come off the rails in these last few. They need to rally, and Silas, flashbangs behind him. Looking to make a hash of this one. Oh my goodness, Silas. A teammate behind him, but Walco will bring it back. Still, he's alone.
He's
now
the last one.
Very much alone. This is disastrous. 1v3. What's he going to get for us? Captain of the squad, the in-game leader now. He's got no one to command, no troops to move about the battlefield. The general has to enter the fray himself. Cxzi. Right around the corner. 50-50 clear here for Walco. Is he going to expect to play deep? He is, but Cxzi is going to be Johnny on the spot. And we've got 14 on the board for Vendetta. We got the money in shambles here for EG. They'll buy around it, but it's not going to be great to keep Vendetta off map point.
Fantastic push from Silas there. Timing was perfect. He hits the shots, gets the 2K, and at the end of it all, yes, Walco frags him, but his team is gone. So he's all by his lonesome in a 1v3, and there's only so much he can do as Vendetta take a 14th. EG will have a buy up here. It's not the greatest. 4 Galils and AK in full util. Just the 4 Galils are a bit of a limiting factor, especially when you got 2 AKs on the other end. Flash is thrown. Vendetta fighting for this mid control. The nades are going to hit George. He goes down to 24 HP. Has to vacate the area as well because the Molotovs are raining on in. Artillery strikes from Vendetta.
Okay,
Jeez.
Walco deleted. Tender thought he had that. The Walco thought he had that every day of the week. Tender not interested. He's had a pretty dang good map. 23 kills. Was the Tender show in the first half quite a bit. His teammates have caught up though, and that's been the formula to see success for Vendetta. So rebuffed on your initial phase, down a man. EG, they got a single smoke and 3 flashes to try and make an 8 take work. But at least they already have rush out. Still,
no one's here except for Consti.
Consti's playing passive. It's a retake setup. Rush wanders in thinking that he's gotten the luckiest of his life, but with 5 players still alive, you had to know something was up. Now the pressure comes through. Tender catches, and this is falling apart. Junior, nothing he can do about that. A clean round for Vendetta puts them on a map point.
Oh man, little more util at the right time. EG just threw too much in the early goings and didn't save enough for their actual execute, because you have a smoke there for jungle, you isolate the op and of course connector as well, and you have a clear path to the A site because Vendetta were heavily leaning towards mid and B. But util wasn't used at the right time, and EG are up against it. 15 to 12, 3 map points here available for Vendetta as a timeout's going to be called by EG, because also another bad thing, their economy. They didn't get the bomb plant in that round, and they only have the full loss bonus to rely on, and they spent down to pretty much $0. So again, Galil's a scout, probably. Maybe a Mac 10 to get more util.
Negative.
This is
Bring it out.
not good.
Get ready for CS2, where it's going to be meta again.
Yeah, with the with the wall bangs that are available right now, base of the walls are all paper. I've seen some crazy stuff from the Negev. It's literally meta right now in CS2 beta.
Hey, they were always trying to bring it in. They were always trying to bring it into the meta. I was watching this, and they're like, "Yes, this is exactly what we wanted."
They'll enjoy it for a few days, and then they'll fix it.
George is out. George is out. George is out. They're not going to know this. Cxzi has no idea. He's already passed, but if Cxzi can do enough damage before George activates, that may not matter. George, though, capitalizing. He's losing teammates. He literally can't kill them fast enough to keep his team alive.
Tender's got a beat on him.
And Tender, the push through smoke, the timely one, knowing that he'd likely try and go for the upgrade, try and go for the control. Instead, this bomb's dropped in the open, and there's precious little remaining for these players to try and keep it under control. All of the Junior, a scout stuck in the palace. Unless they give him the most aggressive fights of his life, he's not getting a chance here, even if they do. Oh, Consti will put him down. Full control from Vendetta. From 12 to 10, the scoreline, I think it was even 12 to 9, actually.
Yeah,
they run back 7 rounds in a row to close. That is Vendetta absolutely snatching the soul from EG.
That is a tough one for EG again, especially considering they've been so